presumably pungent pair of powder blue panties are aggressively removed from a lovely young redhead convict by a feline female Nazi-like prison guard after the opening credits of Jack Hill's 1971 sexploitative women in prison epic, The Big Dollhouse. And so I would like to express my gratitude to Billy Barraza for assigning me this particular picture to introduce during our special Prison Movies edition of our humble podcast. The problem is, after the panties were pulled off, I popped a huge, juicy, frustrating boner and began to fantasize about fucking each and every one of the trash-talking, titty-thrusting inmate temptresses, which continued to cause the cum in my balls to bubble and boil long enough for young Sid Haig to show up in a crappy straw hat and Mexican horse blanket vest. He plays a guy named Harry because nothing says cold shower like the sudden awesome appearance of the beloved veteran Hambone who plays Captain Spaulding in not one but 3 Rob Zombie classics, with fading hair atop his pinhead paint no less. No shit, I don a Sid Haig button about 4 days a week. The Armenian Haig, playing a fruit salesman ironically enough, gets to somehow molest the supple golden globes of a 22-year-old Pam Grier, a woman who I had never seen on screen before my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, Jackie Brown. In that film, I popped several frustrating boners because she is so magnificently MILF hot, I could barely contain my lust long enough to settle back into the Bob De Niro, Sam Jackson storyline, which was my favorite part of that film, Pam Grier's tits. Not much happens in The Big Dollhouse. Like Haddonfield Hospital in Rick Rosenthal's Halloween 2, there really doesn't appear to be anyone around who works at the prison, except some wimpy, snippy doctor and the Nazi guard bitch. Well, maybe some other hot girl guards, but they make no impact. Oh, and some mysterious figure in a white, cloaky ghost costume. I don't know. Inmates have access to knives, dicks, steam, razors to shave their legs with, conditioner, machetes, parfums, and tropical fruit. There are a few torture devices about, which the ghost person seems to enjoy utilizing on the prisoners, and I think the thing takes place in South America? Maybe it's the Philippines. Oh, and the wimpy doctor I mentioned pronounces sadism sadism. Oh, wait, there is a warden, I think, Pam Grier's tits, but she's just there for the wicker fans and seashells. Wait, is she a warden? Some kind of supervisor, I guess. Oh, look, a cobra! Am I tripping? Not nearly hard enough, I'm afraid. Pass me that heroin powder, Sid Haig, or whatever that Artigo Special shit was you took 85 years to sample on the docks. Did I mention there's a terrible cat fight that takes place in mud, Pam Grier's tits? Oh, and all the chick prisoners literally get hosed at one point. How was this a Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer release? How was this thing funded, much less produced with actual money, Pam Grier's tits? How did anything get accomplished in 1971 Hollywood? What with the drugs and the sex and the parties and the drugs and the recovering from the Manson family murders and the delusionment. I mean, show me the minutes of the meetings that went down to make the Big Dollhouse come to fruition. Everyone involved here dedicated themselves for weeks making an utter work of nonsense. It's not even that interesting, sadly, or fun. I'm assuming this flick was made to make men hard, Pam Grier's tits. And I was hard for the first 10 minutes or so. Those powder blue panties really did a number on me. But after I paused and jerked myself off twice, I found my mind drifting to thoughts of a show I need to watch on Netflix I've never seen, called Orange is the New Black. I bet that has women doing terrible, sometimes sexy things to each other in prison, and has coherence! Pam Grier's tits. Pam Grier's tits. Pam Grier's big, juicy, scrumptious, saliva enticing tits. Pam Grier's panties too. Yeah, she peels off a pair at one point. Oh, to go back in time to swipe them from the set at the end of a shoot day. Women in prison. The incarcerated, fed-up girls in this movie are trying to escape the prison the whole time. Me, I tried to escape the movie the whole time, Pam Grier's pussy. There's got to be a reason. This isn't any so-called cult movie I've ever heard of. How did Billy find it? But, Billy, can we kick off season 5 with a John Waters show, guys? Thanks, Pam Grier's booty hole.
I didn't know.
Wow.
I didn't know Kevin Nealon was going to be reading that intro. That's awesome.
Wow.
Max, a lot of armpits in this movie, though.
Oh my God, I love the smell of women's armpits.
I'll tell you right now, I thought of you with the armpit thing going on.
I was going to put that in the review, Tom.
A lot of armpit. Yeah, you didn't even mention. You get on Joe and I for not talking about birds. You didn't mention armpits.
He's right, Max. That is a glaring error.
What can you say about this movie, Joe?
I don't know. Well, I could say this, that it's almost like the Citizen Kane in comparison to the other one Billy had as like a extracurricular movie viewing. What the fuck was it? Oh, Caged Heat.
Right.
Did you watch that one too?
I tried to watch that one. God damn it, man.
But isn't that a Jonathan Demme movie?
Yes, it is a fucking mess. Dude, it is a fucking mess. This movie, it makes this movie look like Citizen Kane, I swear to God.
Joe, this isn't the first time Max went all out on Pam Grier. He did it on Scream, Blackula Scream.
Oh, that's right.
He did.
I did?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You suggested in that episode that it would be perfectly okay for you to rest in a glass coffin while she took a shit on it.
I must really love her because I do.
I'll post that review on our website with this episode. So for those people who are new to us, could listen to the Scream, Blackula Scream intro and ensuing conversation, Max, because you just go all out on Pam Grier. I mean, it's a Pam Grier fest. We have to do something to get Pam Grier on the Cutting Room Movie Podcast as soon as possible for you. I'm gonna make that. That's gonna be a mission of mine over the next 48 hours. I'm not gonna promise anything, of course, because I can't, but I'm gonna give it a shot, Max.
Let me tell you something. There's a restaurant called Tom's Urban in downtown LA, and I go down there with my cousin Lorenzo.
What's this cousin Lorenzo?
Oh, he's the best. He's
renegade.
Yeah. It's a whole world. But anyway, so there was this African-American waitress who I was flirting with voraciously, and it turned out she had a Pam Grier vibe, and we were really hitting it off. And I said, "Can I hug you?" And she goes, "Of course, baby." And I stood up and I hugged her, and she had a bit of a spice to her because she'd been working all day on the floor. And Tom, it's so funny because I kind of nuzzled my nose in her armpits, and that's where the spice was really strong. And I have never gotten more erect faster than smelling her sweet, pungent, aromatic spice, armpit spice. And I started to think about her panties, and I started to think about her little stains and her glaze and her just sweaty in between the legs, that musk, like a musk that would waft up and just punch my fucking lights out, you know? And I'm just like, honey, if I could peel off your dirty socks at the day's end and just smell your fucking right between each toe, just put my nose right between each toe, baby. And oh God, help me.
Oh, God.
Are we still recording?
I think Max just orgasmed. Mac, I just realized that during the intro that you probably didn't like the mud fight scene, right? Like, that's too dirty for you.
Well, no, I thought it.
I didn't realize. I didn't even think about that. But that's what your review made me think about. It didn't help that
you saw the plastic come up out of the water when she plopped down, the blonde chick. Like, the plastic comes up. It's like it's a total Ed Wood, let's shoot this fucker moment, you know, and like in the middle of the night, you know, it's like they laid down the black tarp, they threw the mud on there, they pushed the girl in. Oh my God, I'm gonna kill everyone.
But guys, I totally dig Pam Grier. As a matter of fact, like, she's in a movie that I used to watch when I was like, 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, a lot, called Fort Apache, The Bronx, with Paul Newman. and she plays this streetwalker who also, kills her, her Johns. And I always, for some reason, found her oddly appealing, like in that movie. And she's like this, like just black prostitute in this movie. And
Tom, you just texted me a picture of her. That was you disrupting our show.
Oh yeah, because I wanted you to see that picture from her in Fort Apache, the Bronx.
You know what I want her to do? I want her to eat a fucking garlic heavy meal and not brush her teeth. And I just want to hold her face and have her open her fucking mouth. And I just want to sniff the fucking garlic as it gurgles up her throat.
Yikes. Wow. He is in love, Billy.
Oh my God.
Billy, have you ever...
I'm wondering at my motivations for assigning this movie now. What was I thinking?
That's what I was
back
just going to
then?
say. Is
I'm
this
not
living up
really
to
sure.
Is this living up to your expectations, Billy? You can
think
get Max's most perverse fantasies about garlic breath.
I did not know that it would go from Pam Grier to garlic breath. I did not see that coming.
Have you ever, guys, how hot is it though to kiss a girl and she's had garlic and she's garlicky and she's a little insecure about it, but at the same time she's like really into it and you're totally into it and you forgive her fucking fnarf mouth?
Joe, that's happened to you, right?
Oh, all the time. It's happening.
Yeah,
to
right,
me
dude. This Grier, where is she now? What can I do? Can I come over? Can I help her out? Does she have mail that needs opening? Does she have feet that need rubbing? Again, with her feet, I bet there's just these beautiful, juicy little dogs. Is there anything I can do?
Little dogs.
Does she need, I can go down to the deli. I can pick up her meats.
You would do anything for this woman.
Gosh, I guess so. She just and listen, she needs to work on getting her throat slit, like her reactions. But other than that, my goodness.
This was her first film, wasn't it? Then what's your favorite role? Oh, the Tarantino movie.
Well, she's great. She does a really good job. Everybody does a good job in that. Her and Robert Forster are really, really great in that movie together. Everybody's good in that movie, but Tarantino does a good job with their bond, with their admiration for one another, for their love again, Max, the word love, for their love for one another. It's really good work.
You know why, Tom? Because that's that great moment where two misfits find each other in a world of shit, and that is my all-time favorite cinema theme. You go back to Harold and Maude, you go back to Sideways, whatever. I just love the fact that they're these two people and they're so fucked up and they're so estranged from everyone in their life, but they found each other when they meet in that mall at that shitty fucking, what do you call it, food court?
Food court.
Yeah. Oh, dear Lord, what a beautiful scene. That is far and away his finest work.
I agree, and that food court scene's excellent, Max, because Forster's kind of like walking out of a movie, and he's kind of like in a daze, probably thinking about what he just saw, and then she yells his name from across the way, and his whole body lights up, like his face just becomes so happy to see her, and it was, oh man, that's an extraordinary scene.
You're really nailing it, Tom, and the fact that you said she and her, I want us each to just say she, her.
Billy,
she.
Go ahead, Billy.
I'm not joining you on this journey,
Billy.
Tom.
Why is he such a pain in the ass?
Why can't he do it, Max? He should do it just once.
You know why, Tom? Because he wears a top knot. Billy, I love you, but you posted a picture of yourself on Facebook and you have a top knot, and I'm like, oh my God, I love Billy, and he's a major pain in my ass, but I love him. He's so brilliant, and yet you wore the top knot, and it was very disillusioning.
Max cannot get behind the top knot, Billy. He can't.
Where is there? Okay, all right. Well, this is why I love social media. I have no idea where this picture is, where it's from, or anything.
Well,
wow.
So you're sitting in some European room that's 800 years old, and you got a superhero shirt on, and you're wearing a top knot.
That's awesome. I'm really glad. I have nothing to say to that.
Why do you wear a top knot? Can you answer that?
I don't even wear a top knot anymore. I cut my hair a month ago.
Oh, why did you wear a top knot? Then that's even easier to talk about.
To annoy you, Max. To annoy you.
I love Tom. I love that Max knows what Billy's Facebook activity is more than Billy knows.
Yeah, I don't even check my Facebook feed like
He's
that.
gotta know.
I have no idea
Somebody
what's out
tagged
there.
him on something. I'm
Yeah,
sure that.
probably.
He knows, Joe.
Hey, everybody, we're having a piece of toast. Get around. Let's take a picture.
We're having a piece of toast.
Billy, from where I sit with your top knot and your Europe,
Yes, sir.
your beautiful people, it's like you're always backpacky and kind of like, yeah, hey, man. You're always just kind of like, yeah.
It's very mysterious, Max.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm here now with like 19 people.
He was very mysterious at 4 in the morning.
I disdain.
He was very mysterious at 4 in the morning when he missed the night before he missed his plane out of New Orleans.
So
Yeah, why are you hanging out with all these assholes? Yeah, here I am with these guys. And they all look like douches, but you look happy. Like, I think you're actually a happy person.
He is a happy person. I've hung out with Billy a couple of times now, and he's a blast to have beer. It's a blast. It is a.
And I think he's a social butterfly. Like, he's always
No,
around.
he's great. Like, when I was up at Joe's and then Billy was here this past summer at my place, it's like it's a fucking pleasure to be around him. He enjoys good beer. He'll do shots. He is a great conversationalist.
But he's a dick on the show. Is that what you're saying, Tom?
I don't think he's a. I don't know.
Yeah, that's about right.
Well, why is that then, Bill?
I have no idea. I think the social media thing is just that I'm not doing what everyone else is doing, which is racing to cram every minute of their day onto the internet. So a person living a normal life and not putting it all on the internet is unusual.
Right, it is
these days. So what do you want me to say?
But can you answer this? When you had long hair,
yes,
is
sir.
it because the hair would tickle your neck, or you would get a little hair steam, and so you had to? Was it warm, and so you had to put it in a little ball on top of your head? And did your girlfriend get behind that? Did she like that look?
The top knot was mainly driven by
got Billy to say top knot.
Billy, you know what? You didn't do
Here, let me tell you.
I asked,
He's got Billy to say top knot.
So
listen,
you've done your job. You have succeeded, Billy.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Oh.
What are you guys doing? Come on, it's the last show. What are you guys doing with your lives? Come on. Who cares about this stupid island movie?
I know. Well, this
was
movie
a bad
actually,
one. Yeah.
You know what? This movie is actually probably the best movie to put at the end of the show of the last, right before we go on break, because what the fuck can you say about the movie? Just might as well just start talking about whatever the hell you're talking about.
Right.
All right, Joe, you've got this meat socket, and this thing is capturing the popular imagination.
The popular imagination, yes.
It
I haven't
freaks
taught you.
people
Yeah.
out. I mean, what's going on with this thing, Joe?
Nothing, man. It went into a bunch of film festivals. It was well received. Actually,
and it's on Australian television. Did that happen?
yeah, it's cool, man. It got when it played it in Australia, somebody saw it and called me up and said they wanted to put it on the TV, which is great.
Billy shot your film, correct?
No, not really. I mean, he helped on one of the shoots, but
now
yeah,
these Ron Muga videos that Ron Muga is a mutual friend of you and Billy's, correct?
Yes.
Old toolbox.
Billy shoots the videos and you direct them?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I don't. There's no really clear cut.
Do you enjoy making the Ron Muga videos?
Sometimes I do, sure. Yeah. I mean, I do. I love his music. I love shooting and stuff. And you know what? A lot of times we'll just use Ronnie as sort of a test subject to work out new film equipment and stuff. So,
like an actor?
Well, like if we have a new camera, we had a new camera, so you get Ronnie in there, and so we can play with the camera and get, you know what I'm saying? It's a good excuse to work out. To
now
test
you say
out.
Ronnie, I hear the affection in your voice. So Ron Muga is he he's a special person to you guys?
Yeah.
Tom, are you close to Ron?
I'm not close to him. I've known Ron for a long time. I mean, I first met him when I was probably about 21, maybe. But again, Joe and I kind of were estranged for a while, right, Joe? So, you know, there
What
was
happened there? Why were you estranged?
well, Joe and I just kind of like lost touch, like in our mid
Okay,
20s,
but it
I
wasn't
guess,
like
Joe.
a fight or anything.
No.
No, I moved to the West Coast, and that's just the way things go. There was no like intentional not talking to Tom anymore. It was I called him if
Yeah, but Joe, let's face it. The fact that you were away from Tom and not having to deal with Tom was nice, and now you have to deal with him all the time.
All the time.
It's true. Well, we've worked it out, so we have a very harmonious relationship at this point. I think
Because it used to be kind of volatile.
Oh, it used to be.
Joe, we didn't get into an argument. Oh no, I'm thinking of Taverny. That's why. Geez, I'm sorry. No, we never got.
Oh my God, where's Joe Taverny?
Who
How's he?
cares?
He doesn't talk to me anymore.
Yeah, I don't.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm not interested in talking to him.
Does he talk to Billy? Billy, are you friends with him?
Nah, not really.
Wow. Now, how are you doing? Are you taking photos? Are you doing graphic design? Are you traveling? How's Florida?
What is this all about? What at the end of the show we're gonna have?
Because I know you hate this. You don't want to talk.
That's correct, Max. You are correct. I do not want to talk about this. I appreciate your interest, though. I'll email you sometime on the side. How about that?
The room you are in right now. The room you are in right now. Is it a single room? Do you have a kitchenette?
Here, I'll turn my webcam on for you, Max.
Ooh.
Where's that girl of yours?
She's watching that scientist movie, the one with Benedict Cumberbatch or whatever his name is.
Put her on.
She's not here yet, dumbass. She's in the movie theater.
Oh, she's in the theater. Sorry.
Yeah.
Max, I saw you. I watched your hell show.
Can you imagine if she got on right now and gave us insight into Billy?
That Billy would never let that happen.
Yeah, I would seriously advise against that.
Why? What if she was a strong-willed, independent?
She is a strong-willed, independent woman, but
who said, "You know what? I'll talk to him. She can handle this." What is he going to do? You can't subdue her.
It would never happen. Not in a million years.
Why? Because of the repercussions?
It just won't happen. If you can get that to happen, you're some kind of a genius.
Max, I watched your Halloween show today, by the way. I watched it. It was a little bit late, but I did watch it. I enjoyed it very much.
Oh, thanks, Joe.
It was good. I really like that Carrie chick. Carrie,
yeah.
She's my best friend.
She's blonde, right?
Yeah, she's very blonde.
She's very attractive.
Were you satisfied with the outcome of this year's Hell Show, Max? Because I know this is a big deal for you, and this year's was a lot different than what you've done in the past.
No, you weren't satisfied with it. I was, and then I put it out there, and then...
How do you know I wasn't satisfied with it?
Because you told me.
I did say that to you?
You said, this was very disappointing. Oh, Tom, you make me feel terrible.
I was just joking around.
Oh, I don't know that you're joking, Tom. I was like, fuck you. You're an asshole. You really hurt my...
Well, that's how Tom can say things.
Oh, my God. I'm supposed to read your fucking mind?
Don't.
That video. Yeah, there was no Brandon. I don't like it.
That's a joke. Think about how ridiculous that comment is.
I don't know when you're fucking joking. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm talking about the goth kid and saying that I'm disappointed.
Goth kid, Tom. That's 2008. We're good on the goth kid. And I'm like, wow, I'm trying new things. I'm trying to this. I'm trying to kind of work in my...
Oh, you missed. And
you just take a big dump on it.
Fuck that. No way. Bullshit. Like, wow. I am a huge supporter of your work, Max. Don't say that.
Really?
Don't say that. Don't say that. I support you more than anybody.
No one's saying you don't, but
I said the Brandon the goth kid was not represented in the Hell Show. That's a huge disappointment.
And that's all you said, Tom. That's a huge disappointment. That's all you said.
Yeah.
You didn't say, "Hey, I liked it. I thought that the project."
I fucking posted it on my wall on Facebook and said to people, watch.
Well, now I'm going to get Billy on you. What does that mean? Facebook, you put a link up? I appreciate it, but I don't know that you like it. I don't even know that you saw it. It's okay, Tom.
I watch it every year.
Tom, I'm trying different things. But I think that's the last Halloween Hell show I make. Honestly.
Oh, come on.
You guys look like you have so much fun doing that, Max.
I thought I did, but nobody cares. And let me tell you something. Something happened with YouTube when Google took over. And I mean, listen, if you subscribe to my shit, Do you get an announcement that I made a new video?
Like every couple months, not like when the new.
That's
video
how it works with our show too. That like every bunch of videos that you put up will get released out there, and then every so often one will get put into the mainstream, and then you'll start getting a lot of hits on it, So some of our videos have like 350,000 hits, and some of them have 350.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the way it goes.
Yeah. That's why I have this other channel, because I don't care, and I just do it for my. See, guys, we get to a point, don't we? Maybe I'm wrong, but I've never done things just for me. I'm always doing it to like, I want to make you happy. I want to make you happy. I want to appease this demographic.
Oh, come on. If we're going to be honest here, you have to say, I'm going to do this so you give me attention.
Exactly. I want attention. But now I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Max, if the Hell Show had 10,000 views, would you be doing it again next year? Because it's got to be. It's about the. You want people to see this. You feel people aren't responding to this, right? Is that what the problem is?
I don't feel they aren't. They aren't. But it's okay.
Because I've heard you talk about this with a couple of your YouTube videos this year. Like you made that Tony Soprano one that you were very proud of, and it's excellent. I mean, it's really great work. I mean, I love it. And you were kind of.
But the problem is, Tom, I didn't learn iMovie yet. And that video actually sucks because the sound is shit. It's shot horribly and everything else. I'm not like you guys. I'm not like Billy with his brilliance with visuals. I'm not like Joe with his awesomeness with direction. Seriously, I'm figuring it all out. And I learned iMovie. I said, fuck it. I'm so afraid of iMovie, but I took it on. And now everything's looking and sounding better. So I need to remake that thing. I won't, but if I could go back and remake it, I would. Now it's about quality. You can put great content out there, but you got to have the quality behind it.
Yeah, but to me, you're saying you do now, like you're saying that this changed over the past couple of years on YouTube?
Oh, no, I'm saying YouTube has changed, but I'm saying I've personally changed in the past 3 months.
Right, production values.
Because to me it was about always with Max, it was about the content.
Yeah, it's not about the production.
It was never about that. I couldn't care less. I wanted him, like for me it was fine that he was in his dining room, his living room, or walking around on the pier as the old sea dog.
Listen, I'm gonna make one more video. For the Bowler Hat YouTube site, and I think that's the goodbye. And then I'm just going to concentrate on me being a host. Yeah. I wrote a skit.
Concentrate on the cutting room.
And the cutting room. I love the cutting room.
I know you concentrate on.
Billy loves it too. Billy especially loves when we start talking about things that have nothing to do with movies.
All right, let's go back to the movie for a second. Let's talk about the movie. All right.
I'm waiting for the under-over before Billy signs off.
The production values. Okay, Sid Haig. Let's talk about Sid Haig.
Fred and Harry.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Fred was terrible.
What do you mean he was terrible?
As compared to who?
Hey, I think we better go up to the prison. Are you sure you want to go up there? I guess we should. There are a lot of girls up there.
Well, you know what? I do have a question that actually is movie related. If you guys don't mind.
That wasn't Fred's real voice. That was somebody else's voice, by the way.
Do you guys have like? There's some people who really like watching exploitation movies. I don't know. We've talked about.
Are we among them?
Yeah, we've talked about exploitation.
You know why we talked about it before, Joe? Because we had an entire episode on exploitation.
I know, but it was a little bit different. Horror exploitation's a little bit different, right? I mean, I think it's a bit of a different thing than.
I guess we kind of did. When we were doing that on the Horror Network, Joe, like those movies were borderline horror movies, though. What do we do? Hobo with the shotgun. Blackula.
And,
and
you did that one that you really uncorked a can of whoop ass and officially established your Yeah, hobo with a shotgun. That established your reputation as a snob, and then everyone started attacking you.
Yeah, because I don't like
that.
because I don't like. I'm not allowed to not dislike a certain kind of movie. That's it.
You're
just a fucking
supposed
asshole.
to accept irony as the modern medium for telling every story in cinema.
Boy, you better watch it, Billy, because it's gonna come back.
Probably.
Well, I mean, this is
Hey, I'm sorry. Wait a second. You're right. I voiced an opinion. That's really not my style. I think I'm going to retract.
Well, yeah, if it did that, this whole thing did lead to those painful discussions between watching exploitation and faux exploitation and all that shit.
Right.
I always have trouble. I mean, we're not even talking about this movie, so I don't think that we're these exploitation, B movie connoisseurs like the Tarantino obviously is, man. I mean, he revived this dude.
Tarantino obviously took like the formula. I mean, I picked The Big Dollhouse just because I had never actually seen it before. I saw another one at the Big Birdcage, I think it was. It was the follow-up to this, and it was also Pam Grier and Jack Hill. I actually liked some of the Jack Hill movies. This was a Roger Corman movie, of course, and Jack Hill did a bunch of stuff with Sid Haig and Pam Grier, including Coffee and Foxy Brown.
Yeah.
And those are actually pretty decent movies. Like they're very B movie and exploitation and everything, but they're actually pretty good. Like they're borderline, fun, not just because they're bad, but because they're actually kind of
that's what the
bad movies can be fun sometimes when they're genuinely trying, when it's not just like tongue in cheek, like they're deliberately trying.
And that's the difference. These exploitation movies, they're actually trying, and I have way more respect for them than stuff that's
I mean, Jack Hill he was in school with Francis Ford Coppola. They were studying film together, and there was a brief interchange of their stuff with John Milius as well.
Wow.
And they all worked for Corman, obviously. Like Coppola worked for Corman before going off on his own and all that. So, yeah, I mean, Jack Hill, I've listened to audio commentaries of his on Foxy Brown and Coffee.
There's a style to his work, Billy.
Yeah, he was a hack, but he's a really good hack.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Like these movies, and especially the Van Peebles, who's the original?
Melvin Van Peebles.
Yeah. Like these guys were honestly and genuinely trying to make something good, and from that they actually came up with their own style, especially Van Peebles, man. That sweet bag, it's a fucking brilliant movie, man. Like it's not good because it's bad. It's fucking good. You know what I mean?
Which movie, Joe?
Sweet Bags Badass Song. It's a fucking great movie, man. It's
with
great.
like 10 A's and 16 S's.
Sweet
3 exclamation points.
Yeah, how many S's in badass?
It's like
off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's like 5. And then you get a movie like Black Dynamite, which it's just it's like taking a style that was honestly and earnestly achieved, and basically as much as they can say that they love it, it's still it's basically standing in judgment of it, and that's the shit that here we go again.
The thing that I went through kind of a exploitation phase in my early 20s because my only college education was Kensington Video in San Diego. It was just an amazing video store, and they had a wicked good selection of this stuff. So I enjoyed it for the obvious reasons. They're sleazy, they got pretty girls, in prison fighting motorcycle gangs, and it's all this, whether it's horror or women in prison or
Nazi
road
motorcycles
pictures or whatever. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all the thing about the best of those movies is what a lot of the guys who did those movies and then went on to greater things like Jonathan Demme and Coppola and all that. What they were always, or like a Brother from Another Planet, right?
Yeah.
John Sayles. They're taking the form, and they're in exploitation filmmaking, you have an opportunity to do whatever the fuck you want as long as you deliver the goods. And those guys were using it to, sometimes cram social commentary in, like with Brother from Another Planet. And other ones, I could argue The Big Dollhouse, it's ridiculous.
Anti-Vietnam movie.
Well, it's,
That's interesting.
in a weird way, I think that those movies are feminist. Like there's a whole current of
which is another whole other friggin' issue to deal with, because
there's a current of women today that I'll have
women's bodies,
conversations.
using women's bodies as like a sense of empowerment. It's like they're showing empowered women while they're being exploited for titillation. You know, it's like working while you're working for a company. Your boss is coming and robbing your house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would not argue that this particular one is in that genre. But for instance, Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, like the Russ Myers movies and stuff.
I used to love those movies.
I've never watched his movies, Joe. We have to bring him to the table.
That would be fun, man. Yeah, dude. Matt,
can we do Waters and Myers?
Yeah, I was
like
just gonna
together,
say
maybe?
that John Waters and Russ Myers, man, would be a good one to watch. I guess, you know.
But see, like, so you take the big Dollhouse and the big Birdcage and all that. I mean, they're delivering the goods. It's a women in prison movie, right? It's crap, right? But the later on they go and they make Coffee and Foxy Brown, and Foxy Brown, like, if I remember correctly, I have a hard time keeping those two movies apart, but one of them is really like, you really get into Pam Grier's character, you get into the story, and it's, she's just getting it. She's getting beat up from every angle. Her boyfriend is an asshole, and everyone in her neighborhood is trying to keep her down, and the cops are trying to keep her down, and even the guys who appear to be good guys who are trying to help out just turn out to be greedy, backstabbing bad guys and stuff like that. And it's it's an exploitation way of telling a parable about being of a lower class in America, and so it's like this cathartic explosion of violence she uses to get out of it, and Tarantino talks a lot about that, but he doesn't really make movies. He steals the style without really stealing the substance of that stuff a lot.
Crazy. Yeah. Well, the other one that I watched recently was it was Shaft, right? Is that the one where Freddie? No, what's the one that Freddie's dead? The Curtis Mayfield soundtrack, that fucking brilliant soundtrack that Curtis Mayfield does.
I believe that is Shaft.
That's Shaft. Right?
Oh wait, Superfly,
That's
man.
That's across 110th Street, but it's Superfly.
Yeah,
that's
Superfly.
Bobby Womack.
I watched that recently. Yeah. Dude, I watched that recently, man.
Superfly soundtrack is amazing.
It's like one of the best soundtracks ever, man. Fucking Curtis Mayfield is friggin' amazing, man. Yeah. But dude, and then I watched Black Dynamite recently after that. It's just so...
Joe, what's going on?
It's just so crazy.
Joe, is it true that you now have an afro?
Yes, I do. And a pick in my hair.
Let me ask you guys something. Have you ever been with a black chick?
Yes.
I have not. Well, no.
You ask this every time the subject comes up, Max. You have asked this on at least 4 episodes before.
Have you? I think what he's fishing for is the question to come back to him. Have you, Max?
I'm gonna admit a failure of my life. I was with a girl. Her name was Lavon, and she had it all. And she unhooked her white satin bra over her C cup. She opens up her bra, out pop these beautiful, gorgeous ebony milk bags, and she goes, "Take me, baby." And I'm like, my mom's in the other room. I don't know. Now you have to understand, I was 14, guys.
Oh,
come on.
That's
intimidating.
That's a borderline.
That's tough.
Yeah.
But
how old was she?
She was
35.
74 years old.
It was Danny Jeter.
But let me tell you, guys, it's so funny because Adam, the counselor, Adam Shoulder, he always, man, I love the exotics. He has a thing for Hispanic women, which is awesome. And I love it. I mean, I talked about my Mexican girlfriend on one of the shows. But when it comes to black chicks, I've got like a De Niro thing going on. Like, I'm really, really obsessed with them, especially like within the past 5 years. And I'm watching this Pam Grier.
Well, then, Max, why didn't you mention Pam Grier's panties at all during your intro?
I did. You didn't listen. You fuck. You didn't listen, did you?
I'm kidding. It's a joke. You said it 700 times. I'm kidding, dude.
I don't know. Guys, do we buy that he's kidding?
I buy that he's kidding. Yes,
I was kidding.
As a person who
All right.
likes to use sarcasm, I'm going to stick with Joe on this.
Oh, he was being sarcastic. See, you guys.
I think
and
he
your
was
sarcasm.
trying to take a page from the Tom Detloff school of sarcasm.
Okay.
And
But yeah, see, do you see how I reacted, Billy? I get very intimidated. I'm like, oh, is he joking? Is he serious? I mean,
just
it's
remember,
really-
he once called you intelligent.
Yo, listen, Max, I don't think it's easy for a white dude to hook up with a black chick. I don't think it's an easy thing.
do you think there's an anger there?
Well,
from that?
who, from me or from the
No,
black
from black
women?
chicks.
Well, it's funny. I had a table of a black couple. They're probably around my age, and I was talking to the black woman. She was very friendly, and we had a great rapport. And I said to her, I go, I'm like, I've always, I was telling her how I admire African American women. They're, very, they're very strong, strong women, and they're, opinionated, and I
You
love
said
it.
this at the table?
Absolutely. She loved me. We were talking. So listen, I tell her, I am, I have an attraction towards, African American women. And I'm like, but the problem is that they don't seem to like white dudes. And she looks at,
That's how I'd say at a table.
she looks at my private area and she goes, well, there's a reason for that.
Oh!
And I'm like, you did not just go there.
Hey, Tom, that's a great question. Do you have
And then Tom whipped out his salami and broke the table in half.
Tom, you're circumcised, right?
Yeah.
Do you have what? So what is your?
Oh my God, Billy! I'm not doing Billy. You got to jump. He's going somewhere we don't need to go.
Tom,
Where
what
is
is
he
your
going?
cock like? Seriously, do you have a big hangy scrote? Do you have a juicy
that is
scrote?
that is the perfect question. You answer that question. That's the perfect way to end the
Yeah,
season.
especially on our prison movie.
Oh, you know what? Screw all three of you.
We need
fuckers.
some sleigh bells in the background right
All
now
right, you
as
know what?
Tom explains.
I don't
the
want to know about your dick,
dimensions.
Tom.
No, you don't. Exactly. You don't want to know, Max. And I'm glad you're man enough to admit that. You fucking psychopath.
Why am I a psychopath?
Ask about you want a description of my fucking genitalia.
You know what, Tom? I'm a deep listener. You gave me the POV of the black woman. You gave me the POV of you, and she looked at your crotch, and and she said something, and I'm like, what is it about Tom's crotch? I'm living in the moment.
She was great. Well, it all started because her boyfriend was it was her birthday and she wanted to pay, so she waited for the guy to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, I go, normally I wouldn't, do this, take the woman's, credit card, jokingly. And I said, but yeah, I'm a little intimidated by it. And all joking, very friendly.
Hey, Tom.
What?
Can you imagine? Picture that black woman you waited on, that beautiful ebony princess.
Yeah.
Can you imagine her going to the ladies' room and taking a dainty little seat and letting out that golden liqueur?
I think once she enters the commode, Max, I think I'm tuned out.
All right.
And when she comes back out, I'm tuned back in.
All right.
Fair enough.
So disappointed that you can't get into the scat and all and so forth.
Hey, listen, guys, it's been a wonderful season, and I want to start wrapping things up here. On that note,
Hey, listen, guys.
Smooth
chick takes
segue.
straight. And now it's been a wonderful season. And I just want to say thank you all. And we'll be seeing you in the year 2017.
right, we'll be back in 2015. Joe,
Yes, Tom.
this guy, he is crazy.
Oh, he's a ball. He's the it of the show, and we couldn't function from.
Tom?
I'm fucking kidding around. Jesus.
Oh my God, Joe, please help me.
Listen, every healthy psyche needs an id, and Max is our id, so he helps us function properly. We need
Joe, he brings the hijinks.
he brings the hijinks.
That's
in
what he
spades.
does. He
Thank
brings
you.
the hijinks. Max,
I miss you, Max. Hey, Max, I'm going to be out there in January. I'm going to.
Are you serious?
Oh, you know what? It's not gonna. It's probably not gonna be until
Ready?
March. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. Actually, sorry. I'm gonna try to break away on my next business trip.
Hey,
and get
Max,
out
I'm going to
there.
be out there in January. Really? Oh, no, actually.
I just realized. I'm
When's-
sorry.
When's he coming out here?
That is a good question.
It's easier for one person to come out here than it is for 3 people to go out there.
It would be a blast to all get together at Tom's house. And,
It's been too long, Matt. It's like we're going on 3 years here. 3 years of friendship, of partnership, of panty talk, potty talk.
Potty talk?
Yes. We've done it all together, except party together.
I need to get back out there and push around your dogs for a little bit.
Can you imagine Pam Grier's liquid gold? And she lets out, guys, she lets out one of those, sweet feminine gas that comes out, but it's not strong.
It's ridiculous.
All right, I'm exhausted, Tom. Please.
Working on it. You guys.
I'm in prison. This is a prison episode. Doesn't mean I'm in friggin' serving a sentence. Let me out of this.
I don't really.
Cutting Room Movie Podcast is brought to you by Christiana Productions and New Media Limited. The show is edited.
New Media Limited.
By Joseph Schreck and produced by Thomas Detloff and Joseph Christiana. You can like us on Facebook at the Cutting Room Movie Podcast and follow me on Twitter, Thomas Detloff at TCRM Podcast. You can also check out Joe Christiana's film work at ChristianaProductions.com, Max's new blog at MaxCookUncorked.com, and check out Max and Adam's Bowler Hat Productions and their Mimosa podcast show, Max Cook and the Counselor.com. Dave Pace is now a contributing writer at Rue Morgue magazine. Look for his work over there and check out his blog on horror media politics at La Politique, Psychotronique at psychotronique.anidealforliving.com. Music from the Cutting Room is done by the Zillatones. Check them out at www.thezillatones.com or search for the Zillatones at ReverbNation.com. We are out of here. Season 4 has come to an end. We'll be back with a brand new season of the Cutting Room Movie Podcast, January 2015. Until then, we are over and we are out. Ciao.
Next time to satisfy more of your strange desires. The Cutting Room Movie Podcast. We do chicken right.
A presumably pungent pair of powder blue panties are aggressively removed from a lovely young redhead convict by a feline-y female Nazi-like prison guard after the opening credits of Jack Hill's 1971 sexploitative women in prison epic, The Big Dollhouse. And so I would like to express my gratitude to Billy Barraza for assigning me this particular picture to introduce during our special Prison Movies edition of our humble podcast. The problem is, after the panties were pulled off, I popped a huge, juicy, frustrating boner and began to fantasize about fucking each and every one of the trash-talking, titty-thrusting inmate temptresses, which continued to cause the cum in my balls to bubble and boil long enough for young Sid Haig to show up in a crappy straw hat and Mexican horse blanket vest. He plays a guy named Harry because nothing says cold shower like the sudden awesome appearance of the beloved veteran Hambone who plays Captain Spaulding in not one but 3 Rob Zombie classics, with fading hair atop his pinhead paint no less. No shit, I don a Sid Haig button about 4 days a week. The Armenian Haig, playing a fruit salesman ironically enough, gets to somehow molest the supple golden globes of a 22-year-old, and all the chick prisoners literally get hosed at one point. How was this a Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer release? How was this thing funded? Much less produced with actual money, Pam Grier's tits. How did anything get accomplished in 1971 Hollywood? What with the drugs and the sex and the parties and the drugs and the recovering from the Manson family murders and the delusionment. I mean, show me the minutes of the meetings that went down to make the big Dollhouse come to fruition. Everyone involved here dedicated themselves for weeks making an utter work of nonsense. It's not even that interesting, sadly, or fun. I'm assuming this flick was made to make men hard, Pam Grier's tits. And I was hard for the first 10 minutes or so. Those powder blue panties really did a number on me. But after I paused and jerked myself off twice, I found my mind drifting to thoughts of a show I need to watch on Netflix I've never seen, called Orange is the New Black. I bet that has women doing terrible, sometimes sexy things to each other in prison and has coherence. Pam Grier's tits. Pam Grier's tits. Pam Grier's big, juicy, scrumptious, saliva enticing tits. Pam Grier's panties too. Yeah, she peels off a pair at one point. Oh, to go back in time to swipe them from the set at the end of a shoot day. Women in prison. The incarcerated, fed-up girls in this movie are trying to escape the prison the whole...
You suggested in that episode that it would be perfectly okay for you to rest in a glass coffin while she took a shit on it.
I must really love her because I do.
I'll post that review on our website with this episode. So for those people who are new to us, could listen to the Scream Blackula Scream intro and ensuing conversation, Max, because you just go all out on Pam Grier. I mean, it's a Pam Grier fest. We have to do something to get Pam Grier on the Cutting Room Movie Podcast as soon as possible for you. I'm gonna make that. That's gonna be a mission of mine over the next 48 hours. I'm not gonna promise anything, of course, because I can't, but I'm gonna give it a shot, Max.
Let me tell you something. There's a restaurant called Tom's Urban in downtown LA, and I go down there with my cousin Lorenzo.
Where's this cousin Lorenzo?
Oh, he's the best. He's
renegade.
Yeah. It's a whole world. But anyway, so there was this African-American waitress who I was flirting with voraciously, and it turned out she had a Pam Grier vibe, and we were really hitting it off. And I said, "Can I hug you?" And she goes, "Of course, baby." And I stood up and I hugged her, and she had a bit of a spice to her because she'd been working all day on the floor. And Tom, it's so funny because I kind of nuzzled my nose in her armpits, and that's where the spice was really strong. And I have never gotten more erect faster than smelling her sweet, pungent whole time. I tried to escape the movie the whole time, Pam Grier's pussy. There's got to be a reason this isn't any so-called cult movie I've ever heard of. How did Billy find it? But Billy, can we kick off season 5 with a John Waters show, guys? Thanks, Pam Grier's booty hole.
I didn't know.
Wow.
I didn't know Kevin Nealon was going to be reading that intro. That's awesome.
Wow.
Max, a lot of armpits in this movie, though.
Oh my God, I love the smell of women's armpits.
I'll tell you right now, I thought of you with the armpit thing going on.
I was going to put that in the review, Tom.
A lot of armpit. Yeah, you didn't even mention. You get on Joe and I for not talking about birds. You didn't mention armpits.
He's right, Max. That is a glaring error.
What can you say about this movie, Joe?
I don't know. Well, I could say this, that it's almost like the Citizen Kane in comparison to the other one Billy had as like a extracurricular movie viewing. What the fuck was it? Oh, Caged Heat.
Right.
Did you watch that one too?
I tried to watch that one. God damn it, man.
But isn't that a Jonathan Demme movie?
Yes, it is a fucking
production.
mess. Dude, it is a fucking mess. This movie, it makes this movie look like Citizen Kane, I swear to God.
Joe, this isn't the first time Max went all out on Pam Grier. He did it on Scream Blackula Scream.
Oh, that's right.
He did.
I did?
Yes, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Pam Grier, a woman who I had never seen on screen before my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, Jackie Brown. In that film, I popped several frustrating boners because she is so magnificently MILF hot, I could barely contain my lust long enough to settle back into the Bob De Niro, Sam Jackson storyline, which was my favorite part of that film, Pam Grier's tits. Not much happens in the big dollhouse. Like Haddonfield Hospital in Rick Rosenthal's Halloween 2, there really doesn't appear to be anyone around who works at the prison, except some wimpy, snippy doctor and the Nazi guard bitch. Well, maybe some other hot girl guards, but they make no impact. Oh, and some mysterious figure in a white cloaky ghost costume. I don't know. Inmates have access to knives, dicks, steam, razors to shave their legs with, conditioner, machetes, parfums, and tropical fruit. There are a few torture devices about, which the ghost person seems to enjoy utilizing on the prisoners, and I think the thing takes place in South America? Maybe it's the Philippines. Oh, and the wimpy doctor I mentioned pronounces sadism sadism. Oh, wait, there is a warden, I think, Pam Grier's tits, but she's just there for the wicker fans and seashells. Wait, is she a warden? Some kind of supervisor, I guess. Oh, look, a cobra! Am I tripping? Not nearly hard enough, I'm afraid. Pass me that heroin powder, Sid Haig, or whatever that Artigo Special shit was you took 85 years to sample on the docks. Did I mention there's a terrible cat fight that takes place in mud, Pam Grier's tits? Oh,